To start off this particular rant, it is important to note that I am a fairly religious individual. It's not something I show on this channel all too often, just because I know not everybody agrees with religion, but it is still a part of my life. I am a pastor's kid, I grew up Methodist, and I'm still Methodist, and it is still a fairly big part of my life. That being said, let's look at the subject matter of this particular rant. In this case, it comes from a Facebook friend of mine. He recently posted a status that says, Lent, because giving up chocolate for 40 days is just like dying on the cross. Just admit you're not strong enough to live in self-denial year-round. Don't worry, no one is, and I won't judge you. Now, this annoyed me for several reasons. First of all, although this is not the main one, it is certainly part of it, it just kind of confused me. I mean, first I was extremely upset, and then I realized as I continued to read it that I didn't really know what he was going with, and that just made me confused, and when I'm already upset, and then I'm confused along with the upset, it just kind of makes it worse. Second of all, this is an incredibly pretentiously douchey thing to say. Now, to be fair, this guy is kind of a pretentious douche, so I guess I really shouldn't be surprised. He has a lot of very strong beliefs, and he has this tendency to criticize everybody who doesn't share his beliefs and basically call them stupid. But what is it about this particular status that set me off? I mean, like I said, he posts things like this a lot, but this is the one that gets me talking. Well, for those of you who don't know, and also those of you who do, we are currently in the middle of the season of Lent. Lent is the period of time between Ash Wednesday and Easter Sunday. It's a time for reflection on the sacrifice that Jesus made for those of us here on Earth. And the way some people reflect during this time is to give up something. And it's usually something that's not overly important, that you can live without, but that you don't tend to. So it's things like caffeine, or chocolate, or sweets, or snacking, or Facebook. And this is to, in some way, think about the suffering that Jesus went through. Now obviously giving up something like the things that I listed before in no way equal the suffering that Jesus went through. And I seriously doubt that anybody who gives things up truly believes this, because obviously they are not exactly the same. It's more symbolic than it is literal. So when someone comes along and basically craps all over that and says this is a really stupid belief, I feel like it kind of upsets people. Now, me personally, I don't tend to give up anything for Lent. And it's not because I think people who give things up are stupid, or because I don't like the idea, it's just that it's not something I've ever felt compelled to do. But I have friends who do this, I have family who do this, so I certainly don't have a problem with it. I do, however, have a problem with pretentious douches who come along and act like this is the worst thing that people can do. And that is where I have problems. Lent is a fairly somber season. Obviously, it ends with the resurrection. It ends on a high note, but it doesn't start there. It's a very somber time for reflection, and people reflect in their own ways. Some people give things up, some people don't. But what you shouldn't do is criticize people's beliefs. And that is what this guy is doing. He is taking these beliefs that have been around for quite some time, that are very symbolic and that are very somber, and basically calling them stupid. And that is not something that I can stand for. If you don't believe in this idea of giving something up for Lent, fine. But when a group of people are doing it, when a group of people believe strongly in it, and when they're doing it in no way affects you, then don't criticize them for it. And finally, probably what really sets me off more than anything is his final sentence. The whole thing where he says, it's okay because I won't judge you. You know, as if the whole reason that people partake in this particular aspect of Lent is so that this guy won't judge them. It's this holier-than-thou attitude that always annoys me. Because he seriously seems to think that the only reason that people partake in Lent is so that other people won't judge them. That's the only reason they're doing this. And I'm sorry, I don't give one crap about how you feel about me. If I want to give something up for Lent, I'm not doing it just so that you won't judge me, because I don't care. So to all of you out there who are partaking in Lent by giving up something, don't let pretentious douches like this stop you from doing that. Lent is a somber time, and you should celebrate it in whatever way you see fit. If that means giving something up, if that means not giving something up, if that means you don't believe it happened so you don't celebrate Lent, fine. Just don't be pretentious douches about it, okay?